Hi everyone, let's talk money. Welcome back to Hot Takes in Healthcare Administration. I'm your host, Dr. Jansa Lassiter. So, last week in the news, some changes to student loan limits and other things occurred. So this is actually a reaction video to Senator Jeffries' remarks about student loan limits for graduate students. So, depending on how this goes, I will either stop and add my commentary or let it play through to the end and add it at the end. Let's get started.
So that restriction, a graduate degree student, who does that apply to? Well, it applies to nurses, to social workers, to physicians' associates, to teachers, to engineers, to physical therapists, and many other categories. And so those professions are told you can only borrow $20,000, $500 a year, $20,500 a year.
Yes, this is absolutely true. So in terms of financial aid disbursements, that 20,500 he referred to is the new student loan limit for graduate students. And so that would be dispersed during the fall and spring semester for $10,250, and that does not even include summer enrollment, which graduate students need in many programs to graduate on time.
So what does that mean? It means that since tuition is often much higher than $20,500, and then throw in the dormitory and throw in the food, well, you're talking $40,000 a year. There's a survey from the American Association Colleges of Nursing, which reports the average cost of a nursing program, $38,500 a year, the average cost, so often over $40,000. So what is the effect of putting this limit of $20,000, $500? Well, this is a gift to the predatory lenders. Now, one friend of my son's, well, she had 6% loans that were the government loans, and then she had to get private loans. What was the interest rate on that? It was 11%. We are basically saying, hey, if you are wealthy and your parents can pay your tuition and your dormitory and your food, hey, you're golden. The avenue of opportunity is for you. But if you are from a family that doesn't have the ability to pay that cash and you have to borrow, we're going to force you to borrow loans that are 9, 10, 11, 12%. Because we don't want that avenue of opportunity for you. We only want it for the rich kids.
Well, sir, that was quite an astute statement. And actually, federal student loans, such as Perkins, Stafford's, and Grad Plus, those are actually capped between 5 and 6.8%. And that interest rate is fixed for the entire life of the loan because it's backed by the government. Now, unfortunately, private student loans do not have that same set of parameters attached to them. So they are usually under a variable interest rate between 9 and 13%. Even if someone has really good credit, the interest rate can balloon over the life of the loan. Let's continue.
This is a rule for rich America, and this is a penalty against normal people. That's wrong. I thought this democracy was supposed to be of, by, and for the people, not special gold-plated avenues for the kids of the richest families. And I know that this chamber is full of multimillionaires, maybe a few billionaires, who don't know the darndest thing about how families struggle across this nation and how much they want their kids to have opportunity too. So this is very simple. Let's reject this rule that puts up a huge barrier for the children of families of modest means and medium income or low incomes.
Sir, I could not have said that better myself, because from an individual perspective, I did not have generational wealth, a trust fund, or grandparents that could fund my college education at all. And if it was not for the availability and access to federal student loans, I would not have earned 2 masters and my doctorate in healthcare administration.
Let's knock down that barrier. Let's not force them into predatory lending. Now, there are some who say, but wait. We think that the schools will lower their tuition as a result of us making loans unavailable. That's a false premise. Never worked anywhere, because the schools have to pay the professors. They have to pay for the infrastructure. They have to pay interest on the buildings they've already built. And so they have to charge accordingly. When we saw before, and we've been down this road, when there was the limit on public loans and people had to go to private loans, like the friend of my son, you end up with those 10, 11, 12% interest loans. They're predatory against our children of the next generation. So who here wants to speak up for the rich to be the only ones with opportunity in this country? Let's strike down this rule and say to the President's team, when this bill was passed, no one in this chamber meant to say that opportunity is only for the wealthy kids. This is our opportunity. It's a Congressional Review Act. It means we can say no to a rule that puts up a hurdle to ordinary children.
Yes, and I would like to add here that another reason that individuals have to take out the maximum student loan offered by the school or their program is because, especially in health professions programs, it is astronomically difficult to, literally impossible to, 1, enroll, 2, pass all of your classes in the same term, and 3, hold down a job. So a lot of programs are inherently designed for students to enroll in so many credits a semester. And if you're working or have anything else going on, it detracts from the time that you need to study and produce high quality work so that you can actually graduate on time, because financial aid only pays for 150% of your program time. So, in a realistic example, a master's is normally 32 to 44 credits, and that is to be completed within 2 years. So the maximum amount of time that you can receive financial aid is 3 years. Conversely, for a doctoral program that takes 4 years, the 150% rule applies to 6 years.
So it isn't as if everything is rosy for the children of the next generation. Hey, housing prices up through the roof. Home ownership median age has risen from 33 to age 40 over just a 5-year period because the next generation can't afford to buy a home. Rents are pressing people against the wall. Tariffs have added so much cost to the families. Why are we going to pile this predatory loan program on top of everything else? It's absolutely wrong. So let's just join together and say, let's put this rule in the rubbish bin. Let's put it through the shredder, because it only hurts the next generation that we should be striving to help thrive. Thank you, Mr. President.
Folks, I could not have said that better myself. So this is the conclusion of today's video. Talk to me in the comments. What are your thoughts concerning this student loan situation? And I will see you in the next one.